The Dream Haney calls out Teofimo Lopez on Twitter for a fight at 147. He tweeted on Twitter, "I'm tired of T-Ho and his racist remarks. At Turkey Al-Sheikh, let's make it happen. At Teofimo Lopez, 147 pounds." And then he put the "I want the smoke" emoji. I would love to see this fight next, man. I'd much rather see Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez than Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia too, because I feel like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney's last performance, I feel like it completely ruined the hype for the rematch between the two. Supposedly, they both were supposed to make $30 million for that fight. And I feel like either one of those guys don't deserve $30 million because they put on the snooze fest, right? Ryan Garcia got dropped by Rolly, pretty much lost damn near every single round against Rolly Romero, who a lot of people don't look at as a skilled boxer. Rolly Romero is just looked at as a knockout artist. And then you got Devin Haney, who pretty much was running around the goddamn ring like he was Usain Bolt having a track meet. And, you know, he put on the snooze fest against Jose Ramirez. Now, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, they have a lot of history together. This fight was really supposed to happen about 5 to 6 years ago, but we never got it because Teofimo Lopez pretty much was outpricing himself. And that's when Teofimo Lopez, instead of fighting Devin Haney, he took the fight with George Kambosos. And he took that fight against his promoter, Bob Arum's wishes. Bob Arum did not want Teofimo Lopez to fight George Kambosos. He did it anyway. I think Triller at the time is the one that paid for the fight, that paid Teo and George Kambosos for that fight. And that's when Teo suffered his first loss. Now, this is a good matchup for Devin Haney. Let me explain why. It's obvious that at this point in Devin Haney's career, because he took so much damage against Ryan Garcia's Osterine Opak left hook, right? He got dropped like 5 times. Devin Haney doesn't like getting hit. It's obvious that, you know, he doesn't like getting hit with punching boxers, right? Now, Teofimo Lopez, he hasn't had a knockout since 2022 against Pedro Campa, right? Since Teofimo Lopez has moved up to 140 pounds, you know, he had a controversial fight against Sandor Martin. A lot of people feel like he lost that fight. Teo ended up winning that fight by split decision, right? Then he had one of his most popular performances, probably his second best performance next to the Loma fight, which was against Josh Taylor, who was the champion at 140 pounds at the time. And he beat Josh Taylor by unanimous decision in a great fashion, right? But since then, you have his fight against Jermaine Ortiz that happened last year in February. And a lot of people didn't like how Teo looked against Jermaine Ortiz. Teo claims Jermaine Ortiz was running. Some people feel like Jermaine Ortiz won that fight. And then he had his fight against Steve Claggett, right? Now, he did end up winning this fight by unanimous decision, but Teofimo Lopez took a lot of punches from Steve Claggett. And when you look at his face at the end of that fight against Steve Claggett, his eyes had titty bags around them, bro. Like his eyes were damn near entirely closed up, right? Now, Teofimo Lopez, he did have the best performance on that card with Devin Haney and Ryan. He fought Arnold Barboza Jr., and he beat Arnold Barboza Jr. by unanimous decision. And I think Teo put on a great performance. But Teofimo Lopez decided to spoil his performance because people were praising him. He did the Muhammad Ali shuffle in the fight. You know, I gave Teo his credit. And Teo, being the narcissistic person that he is, he decided to once again make racist remarks towards Terrence Bud Crawford, right? His dad was on Instagram Live filming Teofimo Lopez hitting a punching bag. And Teofimo Lopez Sr. was basically, you know, talking about his son and talking about how Terrence Bud Crawford doesn't want to fight Teo and how Terrence Bud Crawford is going to lose the Canelo. And then Teofimo Lopez yells out, "Where's that N-word at? Where's that N-word at?" with the hard ER, right? Teofimo Lopez, he uses the N-word all the time. He claims that it's okay because he's Hispanic. He's from New York. He grew up in, you know, I guess he grew up in Broward County, Florida, and up there in New York and Florida, it's okay for, you know, Hispanics to say the N-word. And he claims that he's, what does Teo claim that he is? Is it Ecuadorian? Somebody let me know in the, I think Teo claims he's Ecuadorian. But this time Teo used the N-word with the hard ER, right? And he also called Terrence Bud Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis monkeys. He called them gorillas, monkeys, and then he refers to himself as a lion. You know what I'm saying? He said, "I'm a lion." whichever monkey wants to get to the banana first, which I thought was funny. But Teofimo Lopez, he tends to make a lot of racist remarks. You understand what I'm saying? And I personally would like to see Terrence Bud Crawford fight Teo. I think that should be Terrence Bud Crawford's last fight of his career. If he can pull off this win with Canelo, I think Terrence should fight Teofimo Lopez just to pretty much make him pay for, making racist remarks towards him, man. These guys are both boxers. Obviously, Teo wants to fight you. Teo is claiming that he's making racist remarks to encourage fighters, black fighters specifically, to want to fight him. And I think Terrence Bud Crawford should give him what he's asking for, man. Make him pay inside of that ring, right? So, Devin the Dream Haney, guys, if Devin the Dream Haney, if he can fight Teofimo Lopez in this next fight, right? And if he can beat Teofimo Lopez in a decisive fashion, I'm not talking about if he goes in there and he does the same thing he did against Jose Ramirez. Even if he was able to pull off a win, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get any credit. He's going to have a performance like the one that he had against Regis Prograis, and he's going to have a performance like he did against George Kambosos, the person that beat Teofimo Lopez. Devin beat him twice. He has to have that type of performance where he pretty much just outboxes the shit out of his opponent, moves around but doesn't run. Guys, you guys got to understand in boxing, there's a difference between a boxer running, like Shakur Stevenson did against Edwin De Los Santos, like Devin Haney just did against Jose Ramirez, like William Skull just did against Canelo. That is running, right? But when you look at how Devin fought against George Kambosos, that's not running. You look at how he fought against Lomachenko, that's not running. You look at how Shakur Stevenson fought against Oscar Valdez, that's not running. That's just using good footwork, using the jab, and just outboxing your opponent. And that's the kind of performance that Devin Haney needs to have against Teofimo Lopez. I don't think that he needs to go in there and try to knock out Teo. I don't think that he needs to go in there and just stand in the middle of the ring and not move around so, he can put himself at risk of getting dropped again. No. Use your footwork. Use the jab. Devin Haney, when he uses it, has one of the best jabs in the sport of boxing, right? Use your jab and just put on a great performance, man. And I think if Devin Haney could get this win against Teofimo Lopez, I think that it'll get rid of all of this negative controversy around Devin Haney's name. All of this controversy comes from his fight against Loma, which a lot of people felt like he lost. And then his performance against Ryan Garcia, which was overturned to a no contest because Ryan was on steroids. People don't care. People still give Ryan credit for dropping Devin Haney about 4 or 5 times. So I would love to get this fight next. I hope Turki Al-Sheikh makes it happen next. And we don't have to worry about Teofimo Lopez outpricing himself, because at the end of the day, we know that Turki Al-Sheikh is going to pay Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. He's going to pay them what they want to be paid, right? So let me know what you guys think about this. Who do you guys got winning this fight, man? I'm going to be honest with y'all, right? Before Devin Haney's performance against Jose Ramirez, I'm not going to count his performance against... You know what? I am. Because he took a lot of damage in that fight with Ryan Garcia. So before Devin fought Ryan and Jose Ramirez, I would have picked Devin Haney with ease to win this fight by unanimous decision against Teo, right? But at this point in time, right, if Devin Haney does indeed make this fight happen next with Teo, right, even though I don't like Teofimo Lopez as a person, I don't like the fact that he keeps making these racist remarks to get a reaction out of boxing fans and to boxers that he wants to fight. I have to be honest with you guys. If I was a betting man, if I was to be honest with you guys, I would pick Teofimo Lopez to beat Devin Haney right now. Because Devin Haney looked like a shell of himself against Jose Ramirez. Looked very timid, looked very scared, looked like he was just horrified to get hit with anything. And I don't know if Teo touches Devin Haney's chin, I don't know what's going to happen. Even though Teo hasn't had a knockout since 2022 against Pedro Campa, who really isn't even a mid-level boxer, Pedro Campa I'm talking about, I still don't know if Devin Haney would be able to, not fall to the ground after getting hit by Teo. You know, I think Teo at this point in time in his career is the more confident boxer. Obviously, his resume is sharp. He did beat Josh Taylor. He just beat Arnold Barboza. And, you know, Devin Haney, unfortunately, man, he took a lot of damage against Ryan. And he just didn't look good against Jose Ramirez. So that's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you have winning this fight? Subscribe, thumbs up, share the video, and see what they think about this, man. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out.